accidentally on one of her trips got caught with shrooms and ended up getting charged 50 grand. And then they got it down to 30 grand, and her man's family stepped in and helped her, and she had to pay them back 30 grand.
Who charged her?
The place.
The country?
Which country?
What country?
I don't remember, but it was like she literally got arrested and put in jail.
Shoot.
And charged.
That's crazy.
They're going to the wedding?
We should interview her sometime.
I'm going to a wedding. I don't remember the dates, but it's late October. Should be a pretty quick turnaround. Yes, serenade us.
Hello. How's it going, Wayne? Get through the week. Oh, we got Diana in the house. Camila.
Hi.
Hi, Camila. Oh, she's chilling. She's in a good mood.
Diana, how do you think Camila will do at the preseason game when the Bears come to Nashville?
Check.
Could you hear a word that Gio just screamed?
Mm-hmm.
She wants to go to a preseason game.
I guess you're on babysitting duty.
It's in August.
Next month.
This is next month.
The 29th at 5 p.m.
I don't like that she knows that she could just yell really loud and say anything.
I'm trying to figure out what's picking it up. Are our mics picking that up?
The mics are picking it up.
Hey, they can't see nothing.
What happened?
I don't know. I agree.
Little side camera.
This camera died.
The camera died?
Is it plugged in?
Hold on, we'll be back.
Wait, just switch to a different camera.
I did.
None of the cameras work?
Weird.
I don't think it's...
Oh. Everything's black back here.
All of the cameras are black? I don't know why. You just join the call. At least we'll have audio. And everybody still hear us? Okay, cool.
We're working on some technical.
We lost the visual, but we still have audio right now. Weird.
So Diana will just entertain us with Camila.
But we can still see you on Restream. But we can't see you over here.
Dude, she's so precious. Tummy time? Oh, is she on her stomach right now? Oh, I got you. What do they call those exercises? Superman exercises? Where you're on your stomach, you have to make the Superman pose. Camila, building the muscle strength. We got one on? Hey! We are back. Do you know what happened?
No.
That's so strange. That's never happened before. It'd be wild if the batteries were crashing at the exact same time. Seems improbable.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Got a few more people jumping on. Welcome all. We're just hanging out as more people hop on to the call.
Do you want to throw us our mics?
Ooh.
Fabrice, welcome.
Yeah, we got a new face in
Got a
here.
A new square. We got a new square in here. A new tile.
Gracias.
Yeah, what's up?
We can hear you. Yeah, welcome, dude.
Glad you're here.
You're able to see us, yeah? Hopefully. Oh, that's not gonna work. We got Leslie in the house. Welcome, welcome. How many people are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just hanging for a few minutes, see who's going to hop on tonight. One, two. We got Timmy in the house as well. What up, what up, what up? We're all listening through Timmy's song right now. We're getting the mix master back. How you
Coming
feel?
down to
How
the
you
final.
feeling about it, Timmy?
He's muted.
He's at a loss for words.
He's speechless.
He is. Okay, well.
I think he's having issues with.
Oh, there he is. I like that cover art. The cover art's clean.
Thank you.
Gio's taking full credit for it. She's screaming thank you. Oh really?
Wow.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
okay. It's a clean looking photo.
We have an Ella Langley girly hopping on.
You have a
Sylvia. What do they call the guys Ella fellas? What do they call the girls, Sylvia? Langley ladies.
Wait, what is it? Oh. The opposite. Not gagged, screaming. Yeah, how's Avery live? Is she good? Okay. She really came out of nowhere like a year ago or 2 years ago or something. Who'd she open for?
Ella Langley, right? Did she headline? Did Ella headline? How long have you been a fan of her? Yeah. Okay. You're not a choose in Texas. I was gonna say, how do you feel about her brand shift? Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I remember a couple of years ago, it might have been before she got signed, when, because obviously she was based in Nashville, so there were other people that I was familiar with that were playing for her, and she had like a super, like more of like a hard rock country vibe as a part of her thing, and I think she got signed after that, and they shifted her brand around and her sound a little bit, and I wonder if like she even has the same musicians playing for her, because they were very clearly like rock musicians, like they looked the part, and now she's kind of going more like traditional radio country.
The Dallas. My goodness. It's got the football team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we got Chris Hardy in the house. Is this your first time jumping on? I think it is. How exciting.
The legend.
We'll only find out if he can figure out mute. Can you hear us? Yeah. Welcome, sir.
You're smoking them?
I respect it. Well, want to say welcome, dude. It's good to have you on. Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, this will be fun. I think we've got enough people. We can get this show on the road. Welcome all to the Tuesday night Q&A community call. Glad you're here. We see some new faces. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Couple quick things, guys, before we get going. Number one, if you are on mobile, I don't think any of you are, but if you are on mobile, we're going to show up probably in a way that if the camera is going down straight down the middle, you're not going to be able to see. If you switch it to the middle a sec, yeah, you won't be able to see Joey and I. So desktop is always easier here. That's the first thing. Second thing, the flow of tonight is going to look like this. If you guys have any questions that you want us to get to, drop them in the chat. So that way, if we are on a different topic and you're like, oh, I have a question about this thing, drop it in the chat and we will just kind of guide the conversation in that direction. We'll do our best to get to it and answer that question. Or if there's some downtimes, feel free to chime in if you have any questions, stuff like that. And then, do we want to get into any updates of what we've been working on this week before we dive in?
Yeah, do you want to talk about 101?
Keeps dropping. Yeah, we can talk about 101. Gio, screen me, por favor. All right, guys, so this week we have been focused heavily on updating the Artist Basics course. Now, if you don't know, the Artist Basics course is essentially covering the basic information that you need from 0 to 100 as an artist of everything from foundational stuff to branding to songwriting to music production. Our basic, like these have actually been a few important ones, guys, that you've been bringing up, like production basics, how to find your producer, what type of deals to make. We updated this one quite a bit with some really good information in there. Our release strategy as a whole and like examples of what we're doing with our projects right now. And even things like our whole marketing strategy, just from a basic overview to help you understand, like, okay, here is everything that we are doing for our brands, and here's the strategies that we teach on. That should make it a lot easier to just kind of get some direction now. And again, this course, you can hop all over it depending on what information you might need, or you can just go top to bottom, but that should have a lot of good stuff in there for you. And just keep in mind that we have yet to go through for a lot of these and record the videos of Joey and I walking through them. So some of them are only the text breakdowns. Granted, they're really, really helpful and full of a lot of good information. But if you don't like to read through things, then you'll want to hold off till Joey and I record through them.
Just wait a week or two if you like watching and listening.
Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Cool. Then let the fun begin. I know that there were a few of you, I think, that I was talking to this week. I know, Wayne, you had a post and then you weren't able to make last week. And I mentioned we could pick up on this call. So maybe we start off there for you, Wayne. Fine and dandy. Cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You want to make a
awesome.
post about that? That might be the best way
Yeah.
to get that conversation going.
Yeah, I know there are some people that are not on this call right now that would be
Where is
interested.
it? Where is it again?
Foley, Alabama.
Oh, it's in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
Well, okay, let's get into this show side of things. Number one, you weren't you just in South Carolina at a show? Okay. Nice. Well, okay, so from his post where he was talking about this subject, he was asking about, like, okay, what does it look like to actually get shows in Christian music? Are there circuits? Are there camps? Are there, what's the strategy for going about that?
Yeah.
So I figured this would be good because we can kind of recap what we've done with Mass Anthem in the past.
Yep.
I can jump into my history in Christian music booking a little bit, and I mean we could even dive into like Fuge and some of those other circuits and break that down too. So
Yeah. Let's do it.
lead off.
Well, for Mass Anthem, from the artist side, we did camps pretty heavily, and that is the camp circuit. And then we had kind of the church circuit that we booked ourselves. So we would get a lot of our leads and connections from playing camps, because a lot of churches would send their entire youth groups and their youth pastors and like somebody to represent the church to these events. And by hanging out with people, talking to people, you begin to get contacts from churches. And we tried to build as many of those contacts as possible, because whenever we would do a camp or something, there's usually a weekend in between camps. Sometimes we'll spend 2 or 3 weeks in the same location. And from that, sometimes there are churches that are relatively in a similar area that we can reach out to and maybe do like either a show. We would primarily aim for like, hey, can we do a concert at your church? And if they maybe don't want to do that, maybe we'll kind of do like a worship night type of thing with like a love offering if they didn't want to pay your show rate. And that's kind of like the DIY approach. And eventually, when we built up enough leverage and our music started streaming more and our social media started popping off more so on like YouTube and Facebook, then that gave us some leverage for a booking agency to get behind us. And that's pretty much where we left off. And I know you worked for a booking agency.
I did, yes. So there's it actually ended up closing last year. But when I got started, it was called the Greg Oliver Agency, GOA. So that was a pretty popular Christian music booking agency, but the one that absorbed their whole artist list, I believe, is Platform Artists now. So they're one of the big Christian music specific booking agencies. The other big one that's out there is the Jeff Roberts Association, JRA. So that's another big one. Trying to think of any others here. Do you remember 10 Talents? I can't remember if they joined the network a while back or not, but Eric, he runs his own booking agency as well.
Yeah, they're in here
for smaller artists.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some history around this stuff. Recently, something that we've learned about too. Have you heard of something called Fuge, Wayne? You're familiar with that? Yeah, so that's an example of a circuit where they have events all over the U.S. that if you can get your foot in the door with a company like that, it can end up being, hey, we'll take you out for this many gigs each summer in these different locations that we can control.
They're basically the largest franchise type of camp all over the U.S. So there's Fuge, and then there was another camp circuit. What's that? Yeah, there's different types, like, C Fuge, M Fuge. There's like different tracks, but it's all the same umbrella. And there's another one, I believe the history was there was another circuit called, it wasn't Lifeway, it was called Student Life. And
I forgot about the Lifeway too.
So now it's all under one umbrella.
Yeah.
So they got bought out. So there's two types of mega camps that are all over the U.S. right now. There's Fuge, and it's just really the different vibes. And they tried to keep the original vibe of Student Life. Yeah, Centrifuge. Yep. And again, they're basically owned by the same company, Lifeway. And if you can get your foot in the door and do a good job, you can kind of work your way up. And there's smaller camps and there's bigger camps with more students. And they kind of have a whole system there to where it's like if you can stay faithful over the years and do a good job, and they really prioritize the band hanging out with kids and all that. If you could be consistent over a certain number of years, also having leverage with your music doing well helps, then you can kind of work your way up, and then you get bigger and bigger opportunities at the larger camps with more students.
And that's one of the big things too with those camp circuits is they will like try you out for a period of time to see if they can count on you, if you're a good fit, if you're consistent, and then you can work your way up to having like a more solidified position. So you might spend a couple of years kind of like working your way up the rank. I mean, we spent the first year just like kind of proving ourselves with Anthem Worship for a couple
Yeah.
shows before they started to offer
Yeah.
us.
Another
more.
person to really talk about too is about this is Trace. He's still very active doing Fuge and camps and all that. And so they're like, he posted like they just got a van and they spend a lot of their summer doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And another recent thing since I moved down to the south, this is not really much of a thing up north, although I can talk about that too. There's this thing called D Nows in the south. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that. It's called a Disciple Now. It's a wintertime camp that's usually hosted at a church somewhere. So during the summer, you go play camps, and then you meet a bunch of people. You meet different church leaderships, and then you get their contact info. And sometimes those churches will invite you to be like, hey, we're doing a D Now, a Disciple Now at our church. It's like a 3-day weekend during the wintertime. That's usually what people do in the south during then. Up north, there are things called winter camps where there's actually snow, and there's actual campgrounds that have all types of winter activities and all of that. So as far as any type of like winter camp circuit, I haven't found anything like that, but there are pockets all over like the Midwest and then East Coast where they get a lot of snow, where there's kind of these one-off types of winter camps up there.
Spring Hill up in the Midwest, upper Midwest. That's one that you can look into.
That was really where Mass Anthem got started. When we were in college, that was our first opportunity, was leading worship at Spring Hill in Michigan. And so we spent a lot of time during the summers and their winter camps.
Even Anthem Worship, once we launched Anthem Worship, that was the first camp, I believe, first or second camp that we ended up playing there. But
Fuge and Student Life is kind of the same thing. They have all of their own sound system and gear. The only thing that can be spotty is if you're using any backline, like drums can be hit or miss or anything like
Keyboard.
that. But as far as like their sound system, like they have great. They're like in the best of the best of camp circuits that you can get into. So it's very consistent on the quality of the gear that they have sound system wise. Usually you're left to bring your own in-ear system. You probably want to do something like that and bring your own backline. Like we've had times where the drums were not like, it wasn't like a complete set. And so, yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yep. You always gotta double check the backline. That's just, you never know.
Yeah.
But one thing just to keep in mind too is, again, guys, in this community, the reason that we talk so much about leverage and building leverage, for example, Spotify leverage, teaching you guys how to grow your Spotify numbers, is because that will make the booking process easier for getting shows. It's you could say it's all smoke and mirrors, right? But like as a promoter, you want to see, oh, I'm bringing somebody in for this event that gets lots of streams, that, has credibility, that it might mean a little bit more if their name is on the list. I want to see proof that people enjoy their music. So as you're really thinking through this, it's like, yes, let's absolutely like go all in here with the booking. And if you put in the work, you can do it. It's just from our experience, it gets easier the more leverage that you have. You can still do it. You can still work hard and send out all the emails and hit up all the churches and the youth camps and these circuits. But the more leverage you start to build and the more proof and the more testimonials, video testimonials you get from every show that you play, and then you show proof of that to the next promoter, it gets easier. Have you done that, Wayne? When you go play shows, do you typically get like a video testimonial from the promoter or fans at the show or anything like that? Great.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's great. Yeah. So you already have all the fundamentals down. It's just you're kind of starting over in a new market.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta kind of grind it out and build that up.
But what Wayne just mentioned there, guys, so going and getting the show and playing the show, that's half the work. That's half the thing. But then you have to think a little bit more like a business person, like your artistry is your music business, and think, okay, we just went and played the show. Awesome. We did the thing. Merch was good. Show was good. All that stuff. Awesome. But how do I get more of these? How do I make this thing easier? How do I document and like keep lists of all the highlights and everything that we're gaining playing all these shows? And as we've been putting together the Artist Basics course in the last couple weeks and like filling some of this stuff in for you guys, one section that we're working on, one module, is about keeping track of your highlights. Because, for example, we just started using another distributor and we were going through the process of setting stuff up. And I was going through there. I'm like, wow, they want a lot of information. And a lot of it is, tell me about your highlights. What Spotify editorials have you landed? What past events have you played? What XYZ? Like anything that you can figure out as a highlight or as leverage, they want to know about it. And being able to have a list of saying, oh, yeah, I played this location, this date, this festival, this date, this show, this date, it's proof that you're real, proof that you're good at what you do.
We should probably rattle off a list for everybody else watching of like what are all of the pieces that you should capture when you go do a show.
For shows specifically?
Shows like, yeah, because what he said is like you always want to capture as much as possible to make the next opportunity happen easier and faster.
Yeah.
So what do you need to capture from a show? I can think of live show footage is always good.
For always the online EPK.
Always capturing live footage, photos, testimonials from the promoter, whoever hired you.
And fans.
What else?
Always just make sure that you are collecting the contact information for the promoter or for whoever was in charge of that event. My neighbors Max and Grace that live near me here, they are out on tour quite a bit. And they were actually, do you know where they just were a couple days ago?
New Hampshire.
No, well, that was really odd. Specific.
Well, we played a festival. We played a festival out there. That's a big Christian festival.
Another one, but it was a really long drive.
They were in Oshkosh.
No, but you're heading the right direction.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Bratfest.
No, they did play Bratfest, but no, not that one. The Hills Alive, all the way up in South Dakota, South Dakota.
The one in Sioux Falls, yeah.
By Mount Rushmore or whatever down there. They just went and played that one, and I've been talking to them too about this because they're traveling and basically touring with a friend of theirs that they're like the beginner opener for this tour that gets booked consistently. And they're planning on, in the next year or so branching off into their own thing. And I was like, guys, make sure you are getting the contact information for all of the work that you're currently doing. It's like you're already doing all the work, guys. You're driving 25 hours to go play Hills Alive, which we know from personal experience. Like there's a lot of travel and everything. Get the numbers, get the contact information, and spend time at the show making a good relationship with the people that paid to bring you there. Go above and beyond to give value to that relationship, because guess what? The next time you want to reach out, you're in the area, it is going to be so much easier to get them to say, oh, yeah, we love you. We'd love to find a slot for you, fit you on the tickets. So
yeah, like even keeping track of your stats. Like it's so boring, but who did you open for? What festival did you play at? Was it a reputable festival? How many people did you, because another thing too is like promoters care about how many tickets you can sell. How many people did you poll, estimated, things like that. Like even just the fact that we can say that as Mass Anthem that we opened for Phil Wickham and for King and Country, in the next thing, if we wanted to sell that, we'd be like, oh, well, that promoter trusted them to be on that big of a stage. So that carries some weight too. Like try to capture as many different details.
And then
as
if you're smart, it's like go get a picture with King Country. If you can pull that off, so you have proof of it. And ideally do it when your piano player is taking a nap in the bus so that he doesn't get to be in the picture. That's great.
The sleep apnea at its finest.
I know. It's like, you guys did what?
Funny.
But yeah, like picture proof, just documenting it. And we're starting to approach just the Anthem Company and everything that we're doing with music now, guys, from more of this perspective of how do we document the journey so that we have proof of everything? Oh, when we were in this stage, this is what it looked like. When we were in this stage, this is what it looked like. And now that we have this going on the network and the cameras and stuff, we're getting better at that. But think of that mindset as you're going out and touring. How do I document the journey? How to get proof? How do I build this list of promoters and these connections? And man, pretty soon, like you do that consistently, you're like, oh, if I'm in the upper Midwest, I've got a handful of contacts. Oh, if I'm down south, I've got a handful of contacts. It just starts to branch.
So I guess we can go over the difference between the booking agency side and the DIY for everybody else. I know Wayne has experience doing this, but I think other people might be curious. It's like when we talk about the difference between a booking agency and you, the booking agency is just a shortcut. They are a Rolodex of connections and relationships. It all comes down to relationships built over many years.
Correct.
And so you may not even have a lot of leverage, and sometimes a booking agency, just because they have a great relationship with the promoter, they can get you in. All of that. So it's either you as the DIY person, the DIY artist, you are trying to sell yourself to promoters, or a booking agency is doing that on your behalf. And usually it's easier for them to do that. But the other thing, though, too, is you have to think about when it comes to documenting everything, try to capture as much as you can to make the booking agency's job easier, because they're going to be way more incentivized to try to shop your show or your brand around when they know that they have basically ammunition in the amount of the amount of proof that you have.
Let me give you an example. So when I was working for GOA, we would have promoters that would call in and they would have dates and events, but like, who you have available in this price range? Some would call in and be like, no, I want this artist. I heard this song. Are they available? How much do they cost? And they would go for that one. But then it'd be like, oh, they're too much for my budget. Do you have anybody else in this budget lane? And that's where the value of these agencies comes in, because they have the relationships long term, and they just have a constant flow of interest in booking artists, right? That's great. You're going to give up 15, 20%, whatever of the money that you would make to be able to pull that off. Pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. But typically, when it came to GOA, the artists that did the best in Christian music specifically usually had the most leverage via a song on Christian radio. That was, that's for some reason still one of the most important parts of Christian music. Booking, being able to get interest from more promoters is, I had a song do this. And it might not even be relevant yet, but the fact that it was still carries weight. So that's just something to think of. But again, social media is another big piece of leverage. If you can show proof that you have a real fan base engaging with you that want to come listen to you, that is another piece of the puzzle, that the artists that had those things usually got more support when opportunities came up within the agency. But again, how we started, we just hustled. We put in the work ourselves. Like, oh, we know churches. We know we crafted emails to reach out to the events. Sometimes we made fake names so they wouldn't know that we were in the band, and we pretended to be our own promoters and play that game. And you can hustle your way there if that's what you're willing to do. But it's a lot of emailing. It's a lot of reaching out. It's a lot of keeping track on spreadsheets of everybody that you reached out to on this date, and then you circled back with everybody on this date on a follow-up date, and then you finally got a contact. So here's their number, and then it's a lot of information.
I can think of two traps that artists fall into. They either sign a good deal, but too early. Like they sign with a reputable booking agency, but way too early with no leverage. And the other deal is, I'm trying to remember what it was. Never mind. Let's talk about that one first.
Trap.
One trap right now. I don't remember the other one. Yeah.
Say your trap again.
The
Signing too early?
Signing too early, thinking like you're eager to go out on the road
Yeah.
and you sign with a booking agency too early.
So what's going to happen there? You're not going to get the best rate. So think about it like this, guys. It's just like with record labels. If you are young and you have less leverage, I mean, it really doesn't matter when you're in your journey, but like young in that your career hasn't taken off yet where you want it to be, and you reach out and you're, no, I have to get a deal. I need this deal. I need a deal. Like you're bent on getting that deal. They might give you a deal, but it might be terrible terms, guys, to make up for the fact that you don't have as much to work with. And thus it's going to take more work, more effort, more energy, more money and expenses to like promote the thing. The same thing is for any partnership in music, in the music industry. So if you're thinking booking, well, they want their job to be easy, or at least easier than most, because you have social media, you have higher streaming numbers, you have a brand that is reputable, you have leverage for them to use, and then go to the promoters and say, hey, have you heard this song? Oh yeah, I have heard that song. Well, that's this artist. If you don't have that stuff and you try to go get these partnerships too early, you might get trapped into a terrible deal. And if you're making that type of deal, you probably don't even know what you're signing, and you might sign for something that you're stuck in for a long period of time. And that's a real bummer to get trapped in. So just be aware of that.
I remember the second one. You sign with a booking agency that is not very reputable, but it's kind of like your first deal, and it's not a large booking agency, a booking agency with a lot of history, but you just sign with a booking agency that isn't very good at their job.
But here's the other twist to this too. There are some gems of booking agencies that might not have the big name, but they have connections. Maybe their artists aren't as big, but that also means you're not going to get buried potentially. Because here's the other trap too. You sign with a great, let's say you finally get to sign with GOA, awesome, or platform artist or whatever, Jeff Roberts. But then you look at their roster, they've got some big hitters on there. And then you're comparing your leverage and what you've done to them. It's like, what is the likelihood that if an opportunity comes up, they're going to be able to sell you and go with you as opposed to some of these other artists? It's like, oh, okay. So now I need to realize like there's finite opportunities that these agencies have. And typically the artists that have worked with them the longest, have the best relationships, and have the most leverage are the ones that get the opportunities. So sometimes signing a partnership for a booking agency deal, a booking deal, might not actually be as beneficial as you hustling and figuring it out yourself and sending the emails, making the connections.
Because if you are a hustler and you sign a deal that's not very good and the booking agency is not shopping you around as much, sometimes you can sign a deal where you have to run everything through the booking agency and you're doing all the work and you have to run it through the booking agency, and now they get to take their 15%.
So be careful what you're signing.
So be careful what you're, yeah.
Because we would be very careful of like, hey, just so you're aware, like we're going to keep doing our thing. Anything that you guys bring us in, you can have your cut on. But if you're not careful on the contract deals, sometimes they'll slip in phrases where it's like, oh yeah, any show that you get has to go through us. Even if it's your relationship that you've been building and you're doing the work to bring that thing in, and then we're going to take 15% just because it's going through us. It's like, was that necessary? Maybe not. Just be aware of that. One more thing, Wayne, that might be helpful for you too, is the book that Annie just bought and is currently reading through around the live music method by Tom Jackson. Have you heard of that one? Have we talked about that with you yet? Okay, you will. Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of the more expensive books. You'll probably pay $100 for it to get it. But it is, you will geek out over it because you're doing so much touring, and there is absolutely a correlation between those strategies and building your show and the amount of merch sales and like the impact that you have on the crowd and the listeners and like getting invited back. There is a very strong correlation to it. You'll geek out over it. It's pretty cool.
And there's zero fluff whatsoever.
Oh.
Every little detail is intentionally put in there, and you can
Yeah.
apply it to what you're doing. It's crazy. So
Yeah, you actively doing this show thing right now, like you will get the most out of that book than anyone because you're actively doing it. The name of the book is called The Live Music Method by Tom Jackson. Gio, can you share my screen? We just dropped this in the, let's see here, the touring and live shows section. It is right here under live show creation, that book. It's a gold book. It's like $100, something like that. But I'm telling you, worth the money. And it is like genuinely fun to learn this stuff because your mind starts to be blown. You're like, what? All of the A-list celebrities are actually like the big artists are doing this with the shows. And I had no idea, but I could like feel that they were doing something different. I just didn't know what they were doing. And it's a skill just like learning the piano or learning the guitar. Like when we were working on our live show and rebuilding it for Mass Anthem, Joey and I had dueling guitar and electric guitar solos that we would come in throughout the show. And guys, do you know how much time we spent just learning how to walk to our positions? Because it turns out there were like 3 different ways to walk on the stage to convey a different feeling to the audience. It's like the slow walk, the like rock star confident walk, the one that's a little faster with like a skip, the like how are there this many ways to just walk to the thing? So we practiced doing our playing while walking as opposed to just standing and playing where we were because it changed the whole mood of that moment in the song. It's like, think about that just now, every single element of your song and where people are located and how they're standing and what part of the crowd they're even looking at based on where they're at on the crowd. Like, guys, you can split the crowd up into segments and be like, okay, when you're in this section, you have to make eye contact with the people over here so that they feel seen and heard and build the connection. But when you're over on this side, you have to look further back into this section so that they feel seen and heard. And you're starting to like build that relationship with the crowd in real time. And lo and behold, guys, you sell more merch because people feel like they had a better experience. There's a science to it. It's wild. Yeah, you'll geek out over that one. Wait, it'll be good for you. Well, that was a good topic, guys. Anybody have any thoughts on that? I saw Trace, you nodding your head as we were talking through that because you're touring quite a bit. Yeah. I thought you were going to say, I only make eye contact with one person the whole show.
what?
They're like hiding from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Nice hat, by the way. Shout out that. Dude, and one thing too that I was thinking, it's so interesting, guys, because when you think of performing live, you're thinking, oh, I have to get the part down. I have to get the part down. I have to get the part down and like be it like the amount of time that Joey and I spent learning these solos and like practicing on our own time to be able to just get on stage and do this thing off the top of our head without having to think about it or any of that stuff was a lot. But then we realized that was only half the battle because you think you have it there, but now get to that point, but you don't think about the music. Like get so good at the thing that then you can give your attention to the crowd and actually like build the relationship. So you're not just thinking about playing and performing. You're like kind of outside of yourself a little bit, watching yourself play and building the relationships. It's like this, it's another level of being able to do crowd work. So yeah, it's a good topic, guys. Any other thoughts, perspectives on that?
I wanted to run the topic by Trace because we're talking a lot about touring and like the Christian circuits. We talked about camps, churches, D-Nows, booking agencies. Is there anything else that we missed?
Cool.
Nice.
That's huge.
How do you make sure you hit those numbers? Do you have any tricks?
How do you bully the fans into buying
How do you
that
yeah,
amount
how
of
do you
merch?
yeah.
Being what? Yeah.
So he is bullying.
Yeah, it kind of is. Your shirt sucks. It's connection. Yeah, relationships. Yep. 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 Yeah. From Goodwill, like Goodwill places, right? You- Yeah, so you just go buy whatever t-shirts you're like, "Oh, this is a high quality shirt." And it's like and yeah, and it's a one of one because it already has whatever that logo or thing is and it has yours on there. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a vibe. Yep. Yep. Hey, to go back to figuring out your average merch per attendee. So are you basically just doing how many people showed up? How much money did we make? That's the dollar per person. And then you do that over long enough where you just average them all. And you're like, okay, this is typically our average. Okay. That's huge. Oh yeah, that's like the worst case scenario is you show up with $5,000 worth of merch and you sell 500 and you're like, what?
Are you pretty confident in those numbers to use that as leverage for like when you're trying to land a gig or something like that, where you're like you're so confident in your merch numbers where you're like willing to maybe take a little bit less on the actual show price because you know you're going to make it in merch?
Oof. That's a good move. Mm-hmm. That is a great move. Like the hat, mega intentional, or MEGA? MAGA? Mega.
I liked your those two strategies are great. That's why you're making, and you can plan on the merch making that back, because number one, you're doing the whole goodwill thing. So there's scarcity right there. It's a one of one.
It's funny because we use goodwill as like another term, but
Goodwill
this is literally goodwill.
So you have you have the scarcity element with your merch, and then also you have the kind of the missional messaging, if you will, that kind of plants that in people's heads as they're going by the merch table, and they're like, oh, like I want to. Now you just completely reframed it. Instead of like, hey, I want a new piece of clothing, that's a cool design, I'm going to buy it. Now there's like an actual emotional type of missional aspect to it. Where it's like, oh, now I actually want to support these guys because I like their music.
Dude. Nice. Yep. Oh, dude, that is a ship
That's dope.
wheel. That is so cool.
That's sick.
It's like a one of one too. And dude, this is what that book gets into, as well as tying merch to different moments of the show, to different songs, to different different elements, because then the person connects with that part of the show and says, dude, that Burn the Ship song. They walk back. They might not even be thinking it yet, but they walk back to the table and they see the item attached to that moment of the show, and they're like, that's mine. I need that. It's brilliant. Yeah. Dude, you're crushing it. Yeah. Oh, it's our most expensive item. I'm glad you asked. And another great thing that we'll do at our camps and stuff is one of the nights we'll have the whole band wear the merch, like wear the t-shirt. Like when I was touring, doing road managing with Citizen Way, one of our favorite things to do with Ben at the end of the night was to put the lead selling t-shirt on him, and that was the one that everybody sees the whole time. And then what do? They run back to the merch table and they all want to buy that thing, and then it sells out. It would even happen where everything sold out and fans were offering him like $100 for the shirt that he was wearing because it was the only one left. He's like, sure. So then he goes back. He's like, done.
That's so nasty.
So I'll put on a tank top, whatever. Here you go. It's like they get the last one. Do you ever wear your merch on stage at all? Okay. I am Trace.
Trace.
The guy in the title is me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had one more thought too. When we're talking about like what can potentially derail the merch sales, from our experience, it's a promoter saying a certain amount of people will show up and then they don't get anywhere close. Or the people do show up, but then they give you a placement for your merch table and stand that is way the heck out of the flow of traffic. And it's super inconvenient for people to go find you, and it just derails the amount of merch you're able to sell. So we always recommend, it's like, guys, do your best to negotiate. Find a way to get that merch table like in the performance hall, in the back, same room, by the door that everybody has to walk through. Like if you can do that, all you have to do then is go stand by it and let people walk back and forth and interact with people. But otherwise, if you have to be like, all right, guys, so after this, if you walk outside and you take a left and you go 30 feet to that building, then you go into that building and go through the second door on the right, that's where my merch stand will be. It's like, yo, no, nobody's going to find you. We've had that happen as well. It's like, that was a bummer.
Yep.
Oh, I guess the third thing too is having merch that is designed for an audience that isn't at the show. So we've made that mistake in the past too, where we designed a shirt that we loved, but it turns out the Caleb Mom audience fans did not think it was as cool. We designed a shirt for artists, and then we get there and they wanted the cursive Bible verse in the colorful,
We had
fluorescent.
the ugliest looking merch according to us,
Everybody bought it.
but the moms loved it.
Everybody bought it.
They loved those shirts.
Got to think about Becky.
Yep.
That's the real piece of advice here. Got to think about Becky. We're always thinking about you, Becky. Yeah, it's all about Becky. This is a great conversation on live shows and merch and everything. This is great.
It's taking me back.
Yeah. Guitar solo next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Should we
just do a
reenact
concert.
our solos?
There's videos of that.
Yep. Yep. You know what? I'm glad you said that, because there were also times when I was out with Citizen Way where Ben would take cash, and if the front of house guy crushed the job that night, he would slip him $100, $150, just something, because a lot of these guys, like, oftentimes, especially Christian music, aren't getting paid much or anything to be there. A lot of people are donating their time. And when you finally find great people that did so good and went above and beyond, dude, even if it's just like a 20 or a 50, like, you being known as the person that just slips them some cash as a thank you, that goes a long way. So you hit that on the head. Oof. Dude, that's so dope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, oh, how do I pay this back at some point? How do I pay it forward? Yeah, dude, that's huge.
Goodwill. We're back to Goodwill.
Back to Goodwill.
That's what Goodwill. The other Goodwill.
And you wouldn't have had that happen if you were a tool. You know? It wouldn't have happened. It's like, I'm not helping this guy. Annie shared a podcast episode.
No.
No. Trace has. He's shaking his head. Oh, nice. Lainey? Gio, can you share my screen? I found the book. Is this the one? Unreasonable Hospitality. Hmm. Interesting. That's cool hearing it from a group like Laney. They probably got some monster venues. Yeah, I love that. Anybody have any other questions that you would like to dive into? Otherwise, I'm sure we have a few topics up our sleeve from all the stuff we've been working on. Joe, you didn't wear sleeves.
My sleeve.
How are we supposed to
I got a little sleeve.
bring more topics if you don't bring your sleeves? Okay, well, let's see if anybody else has anything that is urgent to dive into. We'll give you 20 seconds. If not, we're gonna go back to Wayne here. Oh, here's a quick good question. It feels like there's so much to do. How do you plan your work time? Oof. Yeah.
Well, first I would
Mr. Time Freedom Framework.
time freedom. I would go figure out what is the number one in the business world. What is the number one bottleneck that is holding you back from unlocking the next level? I would spend all of your free time identifying that first.
Joey put quite a bit of time into these 4 videos called the Time Freedom Framework in the Music Organization Basics within the Artist Basics course.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably, I would assume, what you're speaking from a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're all at. Like a lot of us have other small jobs, full-time jobs, whatever. And so you have to figure out how many hours in your day can you put towards your artist thing. And if it's very few hours, you have to figure out what your number one bottleneck is in your business. In the 101 section, it's towards the bottom, the time freedom framework.
Yep. Man, when we were getting started, we were balancing side jobs, main jobs, starting this company, trying to tour with Mass Anthem. Like there was a lot that we were balancing too, but there just came a point where we're like, it's either this works or we spend forever trying to make it work.
We didn't truly become full-time at this until a couple of years ago. So while we were building this whole company, we were still doing other jobs.
Yeah.
And they're technically not other jobs, but we have other revenue streams that are not the Anthem Co. But where we started was playlists. And that's why we started. We're like, if we had to do this whole thing over again, where would we start? And we would go back to Spotify, still a priority. We'd go back to growing playlists. And back then, social media wasn't as important as it is now to the algorithm. I would probably emphasize the social media aspect of it. But again, like if you're trying to find the quickest leverage and make money from streaming, at least a little bit, Spotify is where it goes back to. But
yeah, and so maybe let's dive into this too. Is there's a couple ways we can go. We can talk about this concept of picking one thing, like Joey was saying, like what's the main bottleneck? What's the main thing right now that if we get this thing to work, everything else gets a little bit easier, and just like locking in on that thing. So like that's one strategy. But it's kind of perfect timing you're asking this, Leslie, because I had just texted you. I haven't gotten back to the conversation to see what else you said, but I was texting you as like, dude, Joey and me, we're locked in right now on the next phase that we're building for, and it's like it's becoming our top priority, and it's like taking the place of like fun stuff right now that it's like, oh yeah, we could go hang out with people, or we keep just all in on this thing to get this thing to work, because we have a couple really big things that we're doing right now with the company. One is a new program offer that we've talked about you with Leslie, with you. And it's like, that's going to be a game changer for the company. And it's like our highest priority. And then right up there is the network and all the courses that we're currently redoing. And I don't know if you could even see it on here, but like I have a whole list of just like all the different coursework and edits and things that we want to redo. And it's like, we're like 10% through it because of all the courses and stuff that we're wanting to put out here for you guys. So there comes a point where like Joey and I have gotten really good at when we see the path forward and it makes sense and we're like, no, this thing is it. We go all in on it. And we're kind of lunatics. I would assume some people would think we're a bit of lunatics. Like if you look at our past, it's like you guys went all in on this thing. It's like, how did you know it was going to work? It's like, but we didn't, but we knew we would like eventually just figure out something that worked for it. So that's the first thing. We've been really good at just like zoning in and locking in. Is there another message here?
Time is a really big bottleneck. Like time can be a bottleneck for you. So for a lot of musicians, we're doing a lot of random things at the same time. So it's like, is there anything in your schedule that you can slowly chip away? For us, it's like when you're trying to become successful as an artist, you're trading your time for money usually. And when you're doing a lot of different random jobs, then what you're trying to do is get rid of them one by one, pretty much. These opportunities where you're trading your time for money.
This is perfect that this is coming up too, because we just, within that same course, Leslie, that we were just referencing, under the music business basics, we built a module around how to build your team, because we had some other artists asking about that. And we're just putting our twist on like, okay, here's the people you need, but like before you start hiring people, here's the mentality, here's the process. Like for us, we always first do our best to master something before we hire it out, because we want to know how the thing works so that we can manage it, as opposed to you hear businesses and companies that like they don't master something, and because of that they have to go hire somebody and pay them whatever they want for the thing, and they really have no way to like manage it and know if they're doing a good job or if it could be done better. So for us, we've always leaned into, okay, Joey and I are going to figure the thing out. Booking, we'll figure it out. Mastering our instruments, obviously we'll figure that out. Or like music production, we'll know enough to be dangerous before we start to hire it out more. You know, all the administrative tasks, all the social media strategy, like all the uploads, all that stuff, we'll figure it out first. And then eventually it gets to the point where it's like, okay, we know enough about this, but it's not worth our time anymore. But typically the thing is like, it's a bit of a conundrum of like, you want the thing to be able to at least pay for the person's time that you're hiring to do the thing. And then it's like, well, if the thing isn't there yet, then it's super frustrating, because you're like, okay, now I have to keep growing the thing to get there, unless I am so convicted that if I get this person involved, that it will get there and then some. I'm trying to think if that answered your question.
That's usually the next level, is like if you know enough to be dangerous and you know what you want, especially when it comes to content. It's like if you can make your own content or film it and come up with creative ideas and like really wrap your head around that, then you can bring in somebody else to edit for you. Like identify what are the biggest time consuming things related to, for example, content, and have somebody maybe post on your behalf or manage your calendar on your behalf. But at the end of the day, you're really still in the driver's seat when it comes to the creative elements. And so if you have money, you can buy other people's time. And a really good example of this, last week, a network opportunity, we have Trace helping us
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
optimize
Yeah, good point.
our Ableton multi-tracks for all of our record label stuff. So I spent time with him, trained him. I actually recorded the whole thing. I'll be uploading it to the network. If you want to learn how to optimize all of your worship tracks for multi-tracks to the community. So I figured it out Ableton just enough to optimize all of this stuff so that I could train somebody else how to do it, because multi-tracks is really particular on what they want and how they want to see the sessions and all that and the stems. And once you kind of know enough to be dangerous, I can bring in somebody like Trace, who's an expert at Ableton. He knows more than me. And I just onboard him and train him kind of what's expected of what I've been doing the last couple years. And he could probably do it even faster than I can do.
And to give you some perspective, Joey, how long have you been doing the multi-tracks Ableton files? And how long have you wanted to outsource it? But we haven't.
It's probably been like 6 months to a year.
It's
I
at
probably
least been over a year.
did about maybe 50 to 100 tracks.
Like that,
so far.
It's been a lot of work. And I remember like in the past, you were bringing up, I was like, dude, can we hire this out already? It's like, oh, we're close. Okay, finally, it made sense. But okay, so Leslie coming over thing. Content strategy is what I really want. I'm learning how to schedule out the content though, so that has really been helpful. Okay, so you're talking specifically like even hiring help around social media. Is that your main thought? Okay. This is typically the approach that we've been using for social media. So let's assume, by the way, this is great. Have you gone through and like claimed all your main social medias first, like the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube, and like the brands are set up? Now it's just a matter of like posting the same content everywhere. Okay. So then what we did, and Joey's, I think you're in the process actually of building out like what it looks like to create a schedule for tracking your social media calendar and like how to build that.
At least how we've been doing it the last couple of years.
How we've been doing it.
As a label.
Yeah. And so like that's the first step, is getting organized, because if you can't get organized, it will drain your energy, because you're going to be thinking, oh, I need to post today. Oh, I don't have a post ready today. What's the post? Oh, I forgot the caption. What's the caption for this one? Oh, where's the content for this one? So we kind of have our own strategy now where it's like, well, I'll start you from the beginning. So first, getting organized with that, getting all this information in the right place and starting to bulk create content so that you can get ahead of the curve. That's been a big thing for us, because if you have to, oh, it's today, I need to make another piece of content, that's going to mess with your schedule, your mind, your peace overall. So we're getting better at, like, for example, these calls and all the stuff we do in the network. We get really far ahead on content now. And then we're not playing catch up. Oh, we need to quick do the thing. Now it's just a matter of creating the content and scheduling it out and keeping up with it. But then eventually you're going to do that long enough. And if things start to get traction and start to generate revenue, and like overall the thing is growing, then our next step is this the best place for us to be putting our energy right now? And
unless you're like hiring a full-time person, I would never outsource the actual like thought process. Like, you, at the end of the day, each and every one of you has to know your audience like the back of your hand. All the problems that they're going to, all of the language, like how to reach those people, how to draw them out to listen to your music. What I would rather do is outsource the actual execution part of it, not necessarily the thought process behind it and addressing your audience, because you have to really be in the driver's seat of that and figure that out yourself, because it is a invaluable skill, because that translates everywhere, not just social media. It'll translate back into your music, your branding, your shows, everything.
But then so like Leslie, the next phase for us was finally, when did we like hand you over the like social media reins? A year and a half?
No, a year.
About a year ago?
We've been we started posting very consistently multiple times a day like a year and a half ago.
I think it's when I moved here, so April.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little over a year is when we finally have a social media administrative hire on the team where Joey and I we build the strategies, we build the content ideas and map it all out, and then we have Gio on the ground for us who's doing the daily uploading and the posting and like all that stuff so that we aren't in the weeds from that element, but we're still posting consistently and still able to keep the rest of the company running and grow the network and focus on the stuff that we need to.
Because at the end of the day, the social media feeds into whatever you're trying to build. So, for example, for you, it'd probably be your music, wherever you're trying to send people away from social media. Obviously, you want to have a community on social media, but at the end of the day, we're artists. We want them to listen to our music. So if what you're posting on social media doesn't necessarily translate over time to stream somewhere, then are you posting the right things? So you still have to be kind of the CEO of your own brand in a way. You have to see if your social media is actually translating or not.
Yeah. As you can see, this isn't like a do this and you'll be set. It's custom to where you are, what you're doing, what's working. Have you figured out what's working? What kind of revenue do you have to invest into this? And it's like there's so many moving pieces. So we can give you like, of course, what we're doing and show you what we're doing. But it's pretty customized. Was any of that helpful at all? Okay. Catching up on messages here. Trace has a book that he said is another really great resource for trying to make a good career in the music industry, and it's called How to Make It in the New Music Business. You know what? Oh, is that by Ari? This is Ari Herstead. Is it any good? Is his book good? Okay. 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 Nice. I feel like Joey, we're writing a book, but we're doing it digitally via a network. Like with the courses that we're building, it feels like we're writing books, only the beautiful thing is we can edit them and not have to republish actual paper and like have outdated versions. It kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Let's write a book eventually. At what point do we just get to write a book? That'd be fun. Annie says, what the heck is the new thing you were just talking about? Secrets? ? Exclamation point. Wouldn't you like to know, Annie? That's probably why you asked. Are we ready to share that or no?
What are we talking about? Oh, the project?
The next big project that we're working on.
Oh,
our
it's
next big program.
It's ready.
Should we share it?
Yeah. We've already been talking.
Leslie knows about it, but nobody else knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Annie, close. Let's turn off Annie. We'll tell everybody but Annie. Just like get rid of her.
She gets kicked.
Bloop. Yep, Annie, cover your ears. We have something new that we've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been in the process of building it for like the past 3 months, specifically 2 months, 3 months, but it's called the Worship Collective Accelerator. And we've wanted to do this for a long time. So when we talk to you guys about artist services and building communities and stuff like that, there's typically things like low ticket and high ticket is what you call them. Low ticket is something that is affordable for the masses, and you can have thousands and thousands and thousands of people join. The network is that. That is what you guys are in. But we've always dreamt up this idea of like how we could do more hands-on work with a few people at a high ticket cost, which means they're paying more, but they're also getting like our full attention and assistance in building this thing. And we finally realized one thing that we're really, really good at is growing worship collectives and Christian music because we've done that for ourselves. So we we decided to start offering that. So we've got essentially 10 church clients that we will be working with, and we're in the early process of like reaching out, but we're capping it at 10. So it's a very like
Very hands-on.
Low
like,
number.
Very hands-on.
higher paid thing, hands-on calls with us, support from us, building the resources, the templates.
It's like we're your record label, but we don't own anything. We're just giving you we're basically giving you record label
yeah, resources and attention.
resources.
Like, yeah.
But at the end of the day, like we're training a church's team to
So we're
take it and run with it.
Yeah, it's like nobody on a church, from our experience being church directors, worship directors, is like nobody's hired to do this. We just happen to figure this stuff out ourselves. So now we are going to be finding a handful of churches to basically go all in. It's like, why do you guys have all this other stuff working, but your worship collective is like the I'm trying to think of a good analogy, like the dull knife in the knife drawer out of all those things.
I was just saying, like, I've seen so many churches spend so much money on their worship collective.
Yeah.
Like, the church's congregation money on the worship collective.
This is not doing anything.
And they don't get hardly any, like, listenership or anything. And it's like, we're literally two guys that went to Christian music college with no
for
money.
architecture.
With no money, starting from zero. And I'm like,
Yeah. How do it,
if we could do that, we can definitely.
if we can pull this off with what little budget we had, it's like these churches with real budgets and teams and everything, but they just don't know how to allocate and teach and train and like implement.
Like any of the stuff that we're teaching you, like Reply Rush and how to grow your own playlists, and like all of that stuff, is just not being utilized. So
Yeah. So that, Annie, is our secret project. And that is why like we've really pulled back from even offering like one-on-one paid consults and stuff with artists, because like we're just pretty soon not going to have time available outside of what we're doing at the network and everything. So yeah, again, and it just kind of goes back to this whole thing, Leslie, even like, man, how do you make time for everything? And then it's like, okay, we have a lot that we're
it's
working
a
on.
constant thing.
And now we're about to add the bigger thing that takes even bigger priority. It's like, well, we're not stopping the network stuff because we've made a commitment to you guys to this. So it's like, that isn't going anywhere. But like now this thing's going to take big priority. And it's like, okay, what loses priority when we make that decision? We realized if we pull all attention and attention from Annie, we can pull this off. Could we get Annie kicked from the call, please? We're running out of.
we need a button. It was like America's Got Talent, one of those X buttons.
How often do we pick on Annie every call?
I know we need to stop doing that.
It seems like once a call we get to pick on Annie. It's pretty great. She's trying to compliment us, and we're roasting her.
She handles it so well. You handle it so well. That's why we keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Spark worship. Yeah. You know, spark music. Yeah. 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 Juggling multiple things is a great way to not get the first thing to hit. That's a good question.
We're gonna have to reach out to them first.
Reach outs. We have some connections in some of the larger like church spaces too. And the thing is with this, it's like we're only opening it up to 10. So it's like, what type of reach outs do we have to do to find 10? I don't think. Crazy. These are good questions.
Columbia. good to see.
I love that she just referenced exactly what to me. So, yeah.
We'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to work with a group that's at 0 monthly listeners or something that's really, really low for what they're putting into it. We just have to redirect some of the attention.
The ideal church, though, is probably going to be one that, because we were talking with our like financial advisor accountant team about this, and basically saying it's like the churches that are larger but still haven't prioritized their worship collective, but they're doing it well. Like they're doing all the worship collective stuff and releasing some projects, and they have a great team and they have the people, but they just haven't had the bandwidth to figure this thing out yet. Where it's like they're ready to do it, they just don't know how, and they almost don't even know that they need to.
It's
right
the
now.
same thing for indie artists all over again. It's just the churches are spending 10, 100 times more dollars than you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a passion for not wasting money. So
Yeah.
it's different. It's one thing to like not have a ton of funds to like invest in your music, and that's where we started. But it's another thing to have a lot of money
And-
using a lot of other people's money
And not steward
and not
it well.
getting any results.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a different thing. It's all the same skills though. We're literally teaching all the same skills.
It's just being able to set up a broader strategy long term. Like we're essentially teaching that church how to build a label and marketing agency within their structure that they already have. So that's why it's very hands on. Annie, huh? Just on steroids.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it.
Yeah. Annie had a good post here. Can you ask Claude to find all the moments of laughter from every call transcript and get timestamps to make a blooper supercut of best Anthem Network call moments?
Working on it.
Posted on the 1-year Anthem Network anniversary. You're working on it? Gio's working on it.
Is that why your hours went way up? I'm kidding.
Is this why we aren't posting anything anymore? And like your hours are way up. She's combing through
Got like 200 hours. of calls.
But actually, we probably do. Catching back to your response here, Leslie, makes sense. When we first did branding for our music with someone we paid, we were disappointed because it didn't feel authentic to us. Some images we liked, but overall it didn't ever feel right ever since I have done my own branding. Yep. Timmy Trace says he's got a friend that's a bass player that just moved where you are. Got to connect you guys. Look at that.
Hey, we're kind of in Columbia too.
Are you guys saying we should work with your church? Your church? Do you think they would? Like, they should have a dope worship collective. You're on it. What do you think about it? Like, do they even release music, like original stuff, or
Underneath the new regime, I don't think. No,
because they have multiple campuses? You were talking about this the other week, right?
the other campuses are kind of new, but
Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Catching up. Anything else here? No, I think we caught up on messages. Yeah. So that's the new thing. Now you're all caught up with what we are up to. Huzzah. Was that just to circle back, Leslie, was that all helpful? Good. Did that answer your questions, or do you have any other thoughts on that, or? So far, so good. Nice. How's the new area, by the way? So, guys, Leslie just moved to pretty close to us. How is it? Nice. Cool. Cool.
Sweet.
Wait, where is it again? Where?
She's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got you. Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. Hey, look who. I did too. I'm like, I think I heard that wrong. I could be wrong. Nice. Okay. Very nice. Hey, look who just hopped on for the evening
Finale.
the evening finale. The one and the only. Alex Zimmerman. See, normally he joins at like 9:50, 8:55. Wow. Your fridge is yelling at you. Gotta put up more data centers. And he said, my church has a youth music collective, but I want to start one for the young adults or regular adults. What's this linked to? Is that the youth one? Tell the youth to join the network, Annie.
The youths.
The youths. So it's not called the youths, it's called the Utah youths. Is there a way to combine those? Youths.
Youths for Utah.
Utes. The Utes.
Well, that's not fun, Annie. You're not part of the club. I've never heard of this club.
Do you want us to reach out to them? Oh, Wait, time out. Strive to Be is your youth one? Wait, who's the guy that runs that? We met a while ago. Yeah, Strive. Mike, yeah. This is hilarious. Mitch Davis. Yeah, Mitch runs that. We were talking about that a while ago. That's hilarious. Why did we connect with Mitch again? Where we think about collaborating or something?
I don't know who that is.
Look up Strive to Be on Spotify.
Do we get like a coffee or something?
Give Joey the screen. This is Strive to Be. If you believe that. They have great music.
I've literally never heard of these people.
Maybe I only jumped on
Did
the
you
call
have a
with
call
him.
with them like
I
while ago?
I jumped a solo call with him.
Mm-hmm. Is this your
nice.
photo?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, let's look through their discovered on. Let's see what kind of playlist they got in their discovered on section. For Alex. Let's see what we got. A lot of them, if you notice, are just duplicates of playlists built around their music because they have such a big reach. And I think that top song of theirs, what Mitch was saying is it ended up going like crazy viral on TikTok or something. And it just, so you'll see most of these playlists aren't like, they're like LDS youth. Yeah. And they're just beasts. They're huge. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. I forgot all about Mitch. Strive to be.
Mitch.
I thought you were gonna say it's like a little startup, like youth band. I was like, oh, let's see what it is. Nope, not a startup at all. Who is the chick, the American Idol chick? Her name is Kennedy. Was it her? She was like 18 when she went on American Idol, and like she did a cover of a Lady Gaga song that like Katy Perry lost her mind over and was like really excited about. She ended up collaborating with them on a song. Can't remember what it. Yeah, maybe that's it. Yes. No, it is. It is Serve the Lord. It's a good song. Where is it? I'm looking for it. Nice. So is that your church? That's your this yeah. Oh. I was just putting all How did I not put that together though with this a long time ago? Yeah. No. Do you know Mitch? Do you actually know Mitch? Like, does he know who you are? Cool. Yeah, they've got quite the production though. Like they go all out.
Is this the club that's hard to get into?
Yeah. Gio, don't clip this. Wink.
I know.
Alex, I don't know if you're allowed in the club. I don't know what the club is, but because I'm not in the club and they say I can't be, I want it. I bet that is. I think that's the club. We'll just assume we're correct. We're pasting it everywhere. Alex, anything new in the playlist world?
How'd that go?
Which one?
He ran sound
A live fest?
in Ohio.
Oh, with Living Again? Yeah. The One Common Boys were there. Whew.
Nice.
Wait, whose festival is that?
Skillet.
Nice.
Still doing
Nice.
it.
Oh, dude. Dang. Oh, really? They just don't care anymore. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, what more
Backing
do you,
tracks?
What more do you want?
Flamethrowers, dude. Like, you're like, I'm not impressed. Dang. I thought you were gonna say when you said Josiah was crazy. I thought you were gonna mean like the show was crazy, but he went crazy because he hit his head right before performing. I've never seen that guy live. Hmm.
He's probably got that like Ed Sheeran energy live.
Ed,
Yeah, because he's like acoustic guitar,
is he a
like
ginger? He's not a ginger.
yeah, like no con a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, he's an inside.
like
ginger.
he could probably hold it down with just him and a acoustic live.
And he said she wants to collab with One Common. I gave up trying to reach out to those guys. They never.
Yeah, they don't like you,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, we gave up. Oh well. Already? They just signed with you guys like within the last year, didn't they? A year and a half, maybe. Well, okay, so they're not with you guys anymore? Oh, wow. That's quick lived. You're still what? Are you live?
We're about to get smacked.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. No, nice. We'll get him someday. Yeah. No, they are good. Yeah. Guys, that's such a cheat code to have the skills to be able to do pretty much everything yourself. Like they fully produce everything, but then they also one of them's a videographer. Yep, and like videographer, photographer is built so like they have it all built in, and when you do that, you can release music for free. It's your sweat equity. It's your time.
Blood harmonies.
Is that the official term? Even like DistroKid has their own built-in, or is it mastered? Yeah, Alex would have his finger on that, on the pulse of that, being in the production world.
And we're guys.
That makes the piano guys. That might be a loophole right there. What would that be for you, Annie? Your services. Just business? Oh, we were talking about, how did that come up? You were basically saying, well, I forget what that was, a naming business? And naming it, the naming business. We help you name it. Because you're like, I don't know what to call it. And then you type in everything. They're all taken. You're like, screw it. I'm just going to. Straightforward. All of ours were taken.
Mr. Designee.
Yeah. It was taken. Prestige Worldwide. Taken. We ended up going with one of ours was like Anthem.
Oh, it was so long.
Anthem Music, Anthem Global.
Anthem Music Worldwide.
Worldwide. We just kept adding words that sounded big.
Yeah.
Like eventually somebody has to stop using this combination.
Anthem Music Global.
Global, worldwide music, publishing. Yeah. Well, gang.
Well,
This was good talk. I'm glad we got into the touring and the merch side of things and a little bit of time, using your time, leveling up, hiring people. This is some good chats.
it's been fun.
Guys, keep an eye out if you have time for that Artist Basics course. Again, it's kind of just there to serve as the resource when you need the thing. So if you're doing something right now, there's a good chance there might be a resource in there for you for whatever you're working on. So just remember to check back to the Artist Basics whenever you need that. Apart from that,
Sweet.
I think we're good. Thanks for hanging out this
Thanks,
week,
guys.
guys. It was good to see you all. We will catch you next Tuesday night.
Have a great week.
Cue the elevator music.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Oh, I wish it would. How long does that go for?
She turned it
Oh,
off.
I